It started small, a missing box here, an unaccounted for delivery there. At first, I assumed it was a mistake. Maybe the courier left my package at the wrong house. But then it kept happening. Every time I ordered something, it would vanish from my porch within hours. The security camera I had set up mysteriously stopped recording whenever a package arrived. Someone was deliberately stealing from me. And I had a strong suspicion who it was. Karen. She was the head of our HOA, a self-righteous, nosy, and entitled woman who treated the neighborhood like her personal kingdom. She had made my life miserable with her constant complaints. My grass was half an inch too tall. My car was parked at an incorrect angle. My mailbox was too modern-looking. But now, she had escalated to stealing my deliveries. One evening, I walked past her house and noticed something strange. On her porch, sitting right in plain sight, was one of my missing packages. She hadn't even bothered to remove the shipping label. My name was still on it. That was all the proof I needed. I wasn't just going to call her out. I was going to make her regret it. If Karen loved stealing my packages so much, I'd give her one she'd never forget. I spent the next few days preparing something special, a trap. I ordered a small, unassuming box and filled it with ultrafine glitter. Not the cheap kind, the industrial grade, almost impossible to remove kind that sticks to everything. But that wasn't the real trick. Inside the package, beneath the glitter, I placed a small black envelope. Inside that envelope was a note. Stealing is a nasty habit, Karen. Now you'll learn how it feels when something is taken from you. I coated the envelope with a special powder, not harmful, but something Karen would wish was harmless. Then, I left the package on my porch. And I waited. It didn't take long. I saw the movement on my security camera, this time, recording perfectly. Karen, wearing her usual smug expression, tiptoed up to my porch and swiped the package. I watched from my window as she hurried back to her house, completely unaware of the nightmare she had just invited inside. I smiled. And then the screams began. The first scream was sharp, pure panic. Then came another, and another. I casually walked over to Karen's house, knocking lightly on the door. No answer. But inside, I could hear frenzied movement, things being knocked over, heavy breathing. And then, the sound of scratching. Not from Karen, from something else. A slow, dragging scratch against wood. Then, a whisper, low, raspy, not in any language I could understand. I knocked again, louder this time. Karen, I called out. Is everything okay? Silence. Then, the lock clicked open. The door creaked inward, revealing Karen standing there, her face pale, her eyes wide with terror. She was shaking, clutching the now empty package. But what caught my attention was her hands. Her fingers were covered in something dark and glistening. At first, I thought it was glitter. It wasn't. The color was wrong, too deep, too unnatural. It seemed to move on its own, creeping up her arms. And then she whispered, voice trembling, "It won't let go." Karen staggered backward into her house. I stepped inside, and the moment I did, I felt it. The air was heavy, wrong. The walls seemed too close, too distorted. Shadows stretched and twisted in impossible ways. The package lay open on the floor, completely empty. Except, it wasn't. A shape stood in the far corner of the room. Tall, lean, hollow. Its entire body shimmered with the same dark, shifting substance that clung to Karen's skin. Its head tilted at an unnatural angle, watching, waiting. Karen's breath came in ragged gasps. I tried to wipe it off. She whimpered. I tried. But it just. She held up her hands. The substance had spread. Up her arms, across her neck, toward her face. And then, in a moment of pure, paralyzing horror, she screamed. Not in pain, in realization. Because the moment she looked into the mirror, she understood. The glitter wasn't on her. It was inside her. Something had crawled in. Something that would never leave. She turned to me, her expression one of sheer desperation. Help me. I took a slow step back. You took something that wasn't yours, Karen, I said softly. Now it's taken something from you. Her eyes widened as the dark, shifting shimmer crawled up her face, covering her mouth, her eyes. And then, with a sickening shudder, Karen collapsed. The shape in the corner faded into the walls. The air lightened. The house went silent. I stepped out onto the porch, breathing in the crisp night air. Across the street, Karen's house stood dark, empty, untouched, like she had never lived there at all. No one ever saw her again. Some say she moved away. Others say she never existed. But late at night, when the wind is just right, you can still hear the sound of glitter softly rustling in the air. And if you're not careful, it might just stick to you next.